In today's video, we are going to be making a savory pie recipe. We have added an Indian twist to it, and if you do try out the recipe, kindly let us know how it turned out to you. Let's begin by making the pie crust. To a blender, we are going to be adding 1 cup of whole wheat flour, half a cup of unbleached all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We're going to pulse this until combined. Once done, we're going to add 125 grams of cold butter to the blender. We're going to pulse this again until the flour and the butter gets combined. As we can see, the texture is very crumbly. We're going to need some liquid to knead the dough. Today, we're going to take 1 egg yolk and add 2 tablespoons of water to it. We'll give a quick whisk with a fork. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of this egg yolk and water mixture to knead the dough with our fingers. We do not want to knead the dough too much. We're gonna split it into 2 balls, one smaller than the other. And we're gonna refrigerate it in an airtight container for at least an hour. For the filling, to a pan on medium heat, we're gonna be adding 2 teaspoons of ghee. Once it's hot, we're gonna be adding a teaspoon of crushed ginger garlic. We'll cook this for a minute. Followed by adding 1 whole onion. Once the onion turns soft, we're going to be adding the spice powders. 1/8 teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of fennel, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. We're going to stir this until combined, followed by adding salt as required. We have already cooked the black chickpeas with some salt, so let's be careful while adding salt now. We're going to add 1 tomato and cook this for about 2 minutes until the tomatoes turn soft. We're going to add 1 3/4 cup of cooked black chickpeas and stir it well, followed by adding 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of Kasuri Methi, and 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala. We'll mix everything well and stir fry it for 1 last minute. And now, the tough and the fun part of the recipe begins. We're gonna sprinkle the working surface with generous amount of all-purpose flour and roll out the base of the pie. And we don't have to worry if the dough cracks, we can just fix it with our fingers. The rolled out dough should have a thickness of minimum 3 millimeters. If the dough sticks to the surface, we can just scrape it with a knife. And now we're going to transfer the base to a cake tin. I'm using a 6-inch tin with 1.5-inch depth. And again, we don't have to worry if the dough cracks, we can always fix it. We are done with the base. We're gonna roll out the top of the pie as well. In order to make the base of the pie really flaky and buttery, we're gonna poke it with a fork and also brush it with 2 teaspoons of ghee. We're gonna add in the black chickpeas filling and cover it with the dough. We can kind of join the top and the base of the dough with our fingers. And smash the edges with a fork to get a nice rustic look. We're also gonna make a little cross in the middle because we do not want the pie to explode. And finally, to get a nice golden color on the top of the pie, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of corn flour to the egg mixture we prepared earlier and mix it well. We're gonna brush the top of the pie with this egg mixture generously. We're gonna sprinkle black sesame seeds at the top. And voila! To a preheated OTG, we're gonna bake this at 180 degrees Celsius for 40 to 45 minutes. We've got a nice crust. It's really difficult to take out the first slice of a pie, and that too from a cake tin. I'm going to use a spoon to taste the pie. The crust is really flaky, crumbly and buttery. The filling also has the right amount of spice. Bon appetit!